Bienvenidos, welcome, and thank you for joining us for Season 1, Episode 9 of the Panafamilia podcast with Eduardo and Nicole, where we discuss our experience relocating to and raising our 3 young children here in Panama, share our journey of building our new farm and home here in Central America, and let you know what we're learning along the way. We're glad you're here. Vaminos. Bought land in Panama.
Is it recording?
Yes, it's recording.
Oh, okay.
We're here to talk about our new farm that just officially closed 2 days ago.
Depending on when you're listening to it, could have been 2 days ago, or it could have been 2 years ago, or it could have been 10 years ago.
As of, we're not going to put this episode out for a while, but as of today, October 18th, 2023.
Yeah.
It just happened. It's brand new.
So yeah, we finally got all the paperwork, and it's officially ours. We purchased 17 and a half acres in Las Lajas, Panama. 7.1 hectares. Hector. Who's Hector?
Your dad. Who's Hector? Hectare.
I say hectares, and in Spanish they're called hectares. When I told my dad we bought 7.1 hectares, he's like, "Who's Hector?" And I was like, "Hector." I was like, "Oh, I mean hectares," and he's like, "Oh yeah, hectares. It's not Hector." So.
Well, how do you say it in English? Hectare? Hectares?
I think you just say hectares.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're supposed to hectares in Espanol. So yeah, we bought 7.1 hectares, and we.
It's about 15-20 minute drive from where we're living in our rental right now, so it's very close to us, and
and
we're so excited.
We're on the beach right now, so it's basically a 20-minute drive to the beach from the property. It's all pasture. All walkable, no huge old mountains where you can't walk on the side of the mountain. Mm-hmm. So it's all very usable land, and
there's some mature trees, but it's semi-deforested. But there's definitely enough big shade trees right now, but we'll be adding a lot more.
And it's pretty unmaintained.
Oh yeah, like there hasn't been animals on it.
Yeah, there's good fencing, which was huge because that would have been a lot of work. But as far as that, a lot of trees need to get trimmed, a lot of branches need to get picked up, a lot of grass needs to get eaten down by cows. So it's been pretty left alone for, seems like, at least a year.
There was one horse on it when we looked at it, and then she had a baby. But one horse can't.
Yeah, one horse. Just every single time we went out there to look at it, the grass was getting longer and longer and longer, and
harder to walk on.
Yeah, so now it's probably around 4 feet high, the grass, 3 feet high. I mean, how tall is Jude? 4 feet?
Is it as tall as his head?
Yeah, there's some spots where you can't.
Well, yeah, I guess some.
Yeah, there's some spots where it gets pretty tall, but yeah, it's pretty high.
A lot of it is like, they have said like good grass. But there are definitely some like weedy, like bramble-ish areas that will need to get a little more trampled down, and hopefully some healthier, more nutritious forage can grow there for them. But there is a lot of good grass, according to local people who know about the different grasses that are grown here for pasture. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we can talk a little bit about just like specifically what we were looking for in land, and then tell you a little bit about like how we found it.
Yeah, found it. We can talk about more.
There were probably like 6 to 8 like non-negotiables that we had in mind when looking for our new farm here. We wanted it to be driving distance from the beach, because that was part of the reason we came to Panama, was to find farmland that was close to a beach, so we could still do the stuff we love on the beach while still having a farm. So within 20, no more than 30 minutes drive. But that would have been kind of pushing it. Yeah.
We wanted it to be where, when we went to the beach in California, it was like an all-day affair. Whereas this is, we can go in the evening before or after dinner. We can go in the morning. I can go in the morning to go surfing.
Yeah. We didn't want it near any factories or plants or big, like industrial agriculture operations. Like we wanted to stay away from like air pollution and ground pollution and water pollution as much as possible.
Yeah, and that's here. It's a little small town, 3,000 people. Not a huge, nothing huge industries here besides
Cattle.
the cattle farm. I mean,
Cattle,
they have
yeah.
cattle, but not like
Feedlots.
not like feedlot size. It's
Yeah.
just like, hey, that paddock over there, that lot can fit 10 cows with the amount of grass. Because it rains so much here, there's just always grass. It's more about maintaining the grass than it is about, trying to get huge cow numbers.
The only issue with pollution here that I see is like they're very liberal with the herbicides, just freaking spraying it like it's a I don't even know, a rain shower. Just walking up and down the road, spraying it everywhere. And there are some spots, the creek that's on our farm goes up through kind of the back of town, and you can see that there's some spots that would drain off where I've seen them spraying herbicides into our creek. So we'll just have to be careful about that. It's not, you can't control everything, but you can just be knowledgeable of it. But yeah, like Eddie said, there's no big ag operations that we are really, worried about as far as pollution. So we definitely wanted to have a creek or a stream, some sort of like running water on our land. Since there is so much water here, we didn't think that would be too hard to find.
And most of the properties, there was a lot of properties that we saw with
Yeah.
some sort of stream.
Yeah, it's very common. Yeah, some
Yeah.
with multiple streams, some had like waterfalls on them. It's just the water here is just so bountiful and plentiful.
Yeah. We've only seen the lands during the wet season, so should be interesting to see how it goes during the dry season.
Yeah, that's true.
But
Yeah.
for the most part, 9 months out of the year, you're going to have water going down the stream. So that was one of our big goals.
And then along the lines of water, we wanted to be able to dig a well and have clean water for our house to drink for our showers, like all that kind of stuff, instead of relying on municipal water or city water. So that was a big deal.
So we got a pretty big plot, and the neighbors to both sides are just houses with a couple animals. There's nothing that could really destroy the water.
Like the water table.
The water table
Yeah.
where we live.
Or the aquifer or whatever.
Aquifer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ideally wanted 15 to 30 acres. 10 was kind of our minimum, and that was almost a little too
Little.
We figured if we're going to go big, we're going to go big, and to us, that's big. To some people,
That's small.
that may be small, but to us, that's big, and we're managing this by ourselves, so we're not trying to start some huge operation, so we didn't need 200 acres.
Yeah, we went 1.97 acres in Turlock to 17. We wanted to go another just to the next level, where we could still manage it on our own, because
Yeah.
once you get past that 20 to 30, you're gonna have to start needing some help
Regularly,
yeah. But
And then we also wanted to be close enough to a town for us, as well as our kids, to have access to friends and community, and not be so removed from
society.
from society that we always have to drive 30 minutes to get to a community event or to visit friends or something. We wanted it still to be accessible. So those were our pretty specific points that we had, and there was only maybe 2 or 3 pieces of property that we looked at that fit all of those. Would you say?
Yeah, there's probably
Like the
2.
Torio one and then this one?
Yeah, there was a Torio property that had a really beautiful view. There was the Lajas de Tole property that was just as beautiful view, and then we had this one, the one that we bought.
Yeah. But like those didn't match all of our requirements, is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And we obviously had a budget. So that had to fit in with all those other requirements. Yeah. And eventually it came down to like location, to be honest. Yeah.
So
like,
that was kind of one of the things as we started traveling around. We really liked being in the Chiriqui province, closer to Costa Rican border, and that kind of took out the Torrio Mariato property. I mean, the main reason you go to Panama City is to fly.
Yeah.
We can just go from David to Panama City. David's only an hour away. To Panama City, it's a 45-minute flight, and then from there, because it's kind of a hassle to drive around in Panama City, and to get there, it's like 6 to 8 hours depending on traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So that knocked out
That area.
Yeah. And then the Lajas Atole,
which is about 40 minutes maybe from where we are now, up in the mountains, and it's where we had stayed when we came and visited, and it's beautiful.
And it was the first property that we kind of that we loved that we were sold on.
That kind of brought us to this area.
Yeah, and one of the main reasons why we didn't stay up there when we finally moved down here was like there's not a whole lot of housing, or there's not a whole lot of
to like rent a place.
Yeah, to rent a place.
Looking,
it's the town was tiny. I don't think there's even 1,000 people that live up on that mountain. But I mean, basically, it came down to it just financially it didn't work out for the budget. And then the other one, I mean, we could have figured it out, but it could have put us in a little bit tighter spot.
As far as like it's farther away from grocery shopping and farther away from like just community and stuff like that.
Yeah. Stores would have been farther away.
Mm-hmm. And the beach access
wasn't there.
It's not by a beach.
Yeah, you had to take like a boat to a beach. And then, as we lived here, I started playing basketball, and Jude started going to school, and Nicole made friends here, and it was just like, we're in a pretty good community.
Let's try and stay around here.
Yeah.
And most of the properties that we looked at, we had found them all online. So a lot of them we had found while still living in California, and just like searching every Panama real estate website we could find. The farm that we bought was not like even listed, let alone like online. So that goes to show that like a lot of the great deals, and there's still a lot of availability of stuff that you can't even find on the internet, which sucks, because when you're planning something, you want to be able to look it up and like get excited and do your research before you come. But for us, it just worked out that the place that was perfect for us was something that we had to talk to a local Panamanian realtor about, and it wasn't even listed at that time.
Because there's a lot of foreigner real estate agents.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a lot of local Panamanian real estate agents, and like one of the benefits of the local real estate agent is they can, since they've been here their whole lives, they can call someone and say, hey, I got some people here, I know you got this, you interested in selling? Because there's still a lot of Panamanians that own a lot of land here, and some of them just they're
getting older or something,
they're getting older, and some they're not listed, but like if someone asks them and there's someone that's willing to pay you something they want, they'll sell it to you.
Take it, yeah.
It
was really cool that we bought our farm from a local Panamanian woman, and I really like that, because all the other property we looked at was owned by people that were not born here in Panama. I'm sure a lot of them have lived here for a long time, but they're not Panamanian. And it was a woman owned this land. I think that's really cool. A lot of people in the community know who she is. That also helped with the price. I feel like the fact that it wasn't like on 50 websites, and there wasn't a bunch of people getting their cut out of this.
Yeah, it just it just feels like the online deals are trying to fish for higher prices from the foreigners,
like United States prices or something.
Yeah.
So we were recommended this local Panamanian woman realtor by a friend, and then she set up a tour of 3 farms here in Las Lajas for us to look at, and we looked at them all in one day, and the second one we went to was the one that we ended up choosing. And we only saw the front small half of it. I mean, I guess we walked to the back, but like barely, because it's just like, because it's such a long like piece of land and there's no road through it, we parked on the road, climbed over the barbed wire, and just kind of walked through it. and fell in love with it by only seeing like a small piece of it, and then seeing the creek, which I was like, so the boys loved and I loved, like right off the bat.
Yeah, and then in the process of buying it, or you know, negotiating, we would walk the property more and we would explore it more, and I felt like every single time we walked it, we're like, oh yeah, this is definitely it. Like there's the second time we actually like walked through the back, and we're like, oh, there's a lot of land back here. And then, I mean, we've walked it probably 10 times now and driven on it, and it just feels like every single time we're still discovering something new, whether it's a new building site or just,
little microclimate areas.
Yeah.
We just figured out the other day that the creek comes zigzags onto the back part of the land, which we thought it only went through the front part of the land. So that was really cool. I kind of thought it was like mostly flat, like the first couple times we looked at it, but when you explore more, there's like lots of little hills, and there's some steeper hills closer to the creek, which are still like walkable, but there's definitely like elevation changes, which is always nice for, you know, capturing water and for building sites and for beauty. There's mountain views, which we didn't notice there was that until maybe the third or fourth time we went there, and we were like, oh, like let's look up and see what the views are, because a lot of pieces of property we looked at had these expansive like ocean, like mountain crazy views because they were up on a mountain, and this one we were like, oh, I guess we're gonna have to kind of give up our dream of the vista, you know, the views. But then we realized, like, oh, if you look like to the northeast, you can see the mountains there, and it's beautiful, and then it's all open, so we'll have a beautiful view of the sunset also. So after about 2 weeks, we decided to put an offer in. I think it was about 2 weeks, and we nothing else felt like this right and this certain. And we paid the asking price. We didn't negotiate on price. They also threw in another half-acre piece of land that her son, I think it's her son or her cousin or something, some family member owned. They like threw that in, and it's like a side piece, and that was like for free and just part of the deal.
Yeah, the original listing was 6.9 hectares, and then with that it brought it up to 7.1.
Oh yeah. So we started that process. It was like August something, the end of August, and just got the title transferred into our name, or the foundation that we created a couple days ago. So it was about an 8-week total process, which is kind of long, but a lot of it was also depending on us, waiting for us to open our foundation with our lawyers, and then also to open a bank account, which took a while.
We could have probably gotten done in a month, but there was a lot of waiting for stuff that we had to
that was
do.
out of our control. Yeah, because
yeah.
like the seller was like ready to go. Like,
I mean, she was ready
quickly.
like within the week.
Yeah.
But we had the foundation that took some time, and then the bank account
took a long time.
They wanted a Panamanian
bank account.
We ended up paying them through
our bank anyways.
Because it was taking so long.
Yeah, so we just paid a wire transfer. Yeah, anyways, about 8 weeks. So yeah, I mean, a little bit more about it. There's about 2.5 acres in the front section, and then there's a creek that runs through the middle, and then the back sections, about 14 to 15 acres of pretty open pasture land. It's, like Eddie said, fully fenced except for a few corners that, like, it's fenced enough for the cows not to get out, but there are some little chunks in there that, like, aren't ours and have to be fenced off. And then there's multiple mature, like, hardwood shade trees. There's a corral built already. There's a fence down the middle, so we already have it kind of split in half. We'll definitely have to add a lot more fencing to break it up into smaller paddocks for rotational grazing. There's the creek comes back along the backside, and then there's like this like island kind of on the other side that is all shady that we just found out about, like we said, a few days ago. Every time we go there, we find like kind of a new little quirk to the land.
And we haven't done like we've explored as much as we can because there's some
So wild.
it's so wild. There's some places where like we just get a little nervous about on foot
Yeah.
walking because there might be snakes out there.
Yeah.
Like,
If we had horses, it would be a lot easier.
So we'll do as much as we can with the car, and then we'll walk around a little bit by the car. But like, there's some places that we're still kind of we'll let the cows kind of go down there first and clean it up a little bit before we go.
Yeah.
But I mean, like I saw a huge spider this morning, probably the size of a
softball.
A softball. It was pretty big, and he was in the feeding trough. And then I just kind of took him out. I flipped him out of the trough, and then I was there he goes into the grass, completely lost. Hopefully, he doesn't crawl on me. So yeah, there's still a lot of places I feel like once we get a little bit more comfortable with how much cleaner it is.
Yeah, we can explore even
more. Because like Nicole's talking about that little shady area by the creek. I wouldn't go down there right now.
No. Yeah, not even with like real tall rubber boots.
Yeah, I just the snake dart's really going off.
The snake radar, the snake dart.
Yeah.
There's a few spots where you can see like there could be more streams if we were to, kind of dam it up a little bit, which is like really exciting to us. Like kind of working with water and managing how the rainwater flows and drains on the land. There's a spot that will be perfect for a pond if we, work on that. I mean, both of our minds are just like reeling with ideas and stuff, and we're writing stuff down, but also trying to just, the focus right now is getting the grass down with the cows that we just bought, and then getting our house designed and like getting that process built, and like the well and stuff, like the stuff we need to live there. And then once we're living there, we can work on it as we're there a lot easier. So we'll talk about this more in some other episodes, but yeah, we just got cows there a couple days ago. We're starting the design of our dome home, and we've been going to the farm, like driving there
twice a day
just because like we're so excited.
I went 3 times yesterday.
Yeah, Eddie went 3 times. We went last night too because it was pouring, and we wanted to see what was going on with the water and stuff, but it wasn't pouring as much there like when we were there, so we couldn't. Plus, again, the grass is so tall it's hard to see where the water's flowing. So I mean, basically our overall vision for the farm is to have like a homestead for us, where we're like growing and raising so much of our own food, where we're regenerating the land. I mean, it's not like it's bad land, but it's not as bountiful and healthy, and the soil isn't as healthy as it could be. So working with rotational grazing, adding in potentially other smaller ruminants like sheep, definitely getting chickens, pigs down the line, and planting tons of more trees so we've got more shade and keeps the grass green through the dry season. Also building not only our house but possibly a guest house. Just lots of food and lots of beauty, and getting a road going through there. So we have a lot of space to work with to do that.
Yeah. I just want to build my cattle kingdom down here.
Yeah, and then talk about your kind of cattle vision too, as far as an income producing part of it.
Yeah. Nicole's she's all into the gardens and
the trees
and all that kind of stuff, I just really like cattle, so I've been really thinking about.
And he's a breeder,
yeah.
A cattle breeder.
Yeah, so I've just been thinking about building the cattle here and just growing, and just maybe that can grow some opportunity to run some cattle and some more property, and just keep expanding that, and make it income producing.
Yeah, and we can talk more specifically about like the cows we got and stuff in our cow episode, definitely.
Oh yeah, the cow episode.
Because it was like very emotional when we got our cows. We were both saying like it was almost more emotional than the first time we walked on it after it was ours.
Yeah, we walked on it, and it was, we opened the gate, and it was like cool, but then like when we dropped off the cows, it was like, oh, I don't know why this makes it like.
We both were like wanting to cry. I cried. He said he was trying not to because his cowboy friend was there.
My Panamanian cowboy friend. I can't look weak in front of him.
He probably would cry too. I feel like he's
Yeah.
a very soft-hearted man.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because it's like the farm part of it is really, it's
Coming to
so
life.
realistic. Yeah,
Yeah.
seeing that. Yeah. But yeah, it's beautiful. It smells so good, especially after a rain, just wet soil and fresh grass. And
Yeah.
it's just, it's so quiet, and the birds and the crickets. And I just can't wait to wake up there and have our coffee and sit on the porch and just look around. And yeah, we're very, very excited. So thanks for listening to us rant on and on about how excited we are.
Yeah. Thank
But
you.
that is our that's kind of our story of how we got our land. So we did all of that in the first 3 months since being in Panama. And so
Yeah.
it's definitely doable. If you come here with that sort of like short timeline, it's definitely doable.
No, it's definitely doable.
Yeah.
If we can figure it out, anyone can figure it
Yeah,
out.
we're not that smart.
Yeah.
And we're very grateful to God for opening up all these different doors that just kind of magically just kind of happened and
Yeah.
almost fell into our lap, the perfect place. So very grateful for that.
Yep.
Thanks so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and we'll see you next time on the Pana Familia podcast.